Hey, it's Brooke, and this is the Simply Lovely Vlog, episode 3. So I'm titling this episode YOLO, and guys, don't laugh at me. I know that's super out of date, but even though people don't say it anymore, it definitely still has just as strong of a meaning as it did back then. Like, in all reality, we do only live once. And so since I've just been talking about how to better your year and how to figure out your priorities and figure out the goals for yourself and figure out how to achieve them, I thought this would be a really great topic of just figuring out, well, how are we going to spend our time? Like, prioritizing our time and what kind of legacy do we want to leave, and how are we going to spend the rest of our lives. And I know that sounds like a huge topic, and once we get started talking about it, it's really not, it's not that complex. So I have 2 huge points for this episode. Number 1 is managing your time wisely, and number 2 is managing your life wisely. So let's just go ahead and get started. For managing your time wisely, I just want to talk about a few things that kind of come to my mind, or some things that I do when it comes to time management and that topic for me. Number 1 is a time block. I kind of talked about it before, and it's definitely, like, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, it's not for everyone. But I wanted to go ahead and show it to you guys and kind of give you guys an example just in case it is something that will help a few of you. For me, it definitely works because I'm a huge planner. Like, this gives me satisfaction, it gives me peace, and I love to plan, and I also love to organize, and so that's definitely what this is. So I'm going to show it to you guys. Please don't freak out. Like, I promise it's not as crazy as it looks. So this is kind of what it looks like, but on the top it has the days of the week, so Monday through Sunday, and then on the sides you write your times in. And this one isn't even my final one. Like, I've been trying to write a time block for over a month, and I can't get a perfect one yet. So this is just really me writing some times down, trying them out for a week. If I figure out that they don't work, like this one says to wake up at 5 a.m., I've decided that that's just not early enough for me, and I want to start trying to wake up at 4 a.m. And I've tried it before, and it didn't really work, but I figured out it was kind of my mindset. Anyways, we will get into all that later. But the point is, this is a time block. And so literally it just tells you the times from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, and you can fill in stuff. And obviously mine's 3 pages long because I do every 30 minutes. Some people do every hour, like whatever works for you. But you can see, like, I have blank spaces. My evenings are super blank spaces because sometimes you just can't plan everything. Like, at the moment, I'm just figuring out my life and I can't plan everything. But the point of all this is to explain it to you. I just am trying to get myself on a schedule and figuring out what I want to do with my days, especially Monday through Friday. How do I want to spend that time, especially I stay home with the boys, and I nanny a little girl. And so I'm home with my boys. Like, what do I want to do? Like, what can I do to better raise them in that time? Or what can I do with my time while they're napping? Because I have about 2.5 hours of just me time, but I want that to be purposeful. So what can I do? And so I've kind of just been trying some different things out. Like, yoga's on my list, and I've been journaling, and I've been reading, and so just kind of filling in those things. Like, I wake up, the same time every day. I, have time with God, or I do college, and so it's just kind of like just me trying to write in some things that I know I want to do with my life, and just trying to figure out where to fit them, and how I can fit them all in there. And so, like I said last episode, I could probably do a whole video on how to time block because it's pretty complex. But seriously, like, you look up examples on Pinterest and it's gonna show you, like, how to time block. And so if that's something for you, definitely do that. But anyways, so just managing your time, like figuring out, okay, I have 24 hours in a day, so what am I going to do with those 24 hours? And obviously, 6 or 7 of them you're going to sleep. But what about the rest? Like there's plenty more hours, about 18 hours in your day left. What are you going to do with that time? And so it's really just sitting down and writing down, okay, I work this amount of time, but when I'm off work, I have, this many hours left. How am I going to spend that time? And so that's number one, is just time blocking. And like I said, it's not for everyone. Number 2, I want to talk to you guys about saying no so you can say yes to better things. That sounds so rude. And I don't want it to come off rude. It's not something that I want to be hateful. But in all honesty, guys, like we can't do everything. And I've found myself really struggling with that, because anytime anyone invites me to something, I want to say yes. And I want to be like, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do that. And so I found myself like committing to things before I actually looked at the schedule and realized like I can't do everything. I can't go to college and work and be a wife and be a mom and do all the church activities that I do, plus attend all the birthday parties and all the weddings and just everything. Like it's so much. And so it's just really learning to sit down and say, okay, I got invited to this and I got invited to this. Which one is going to be better? Like which one's going to be better for my family? Which one's going to be more beneficial for them? Which one is going to hit the priorities in my life? Like if I got invited to a social event or a church event, I can guarantee you I'm going to pick the church event, because I'm that passionate about my relationship with God. It's my number one priority, and I do not want to hurt anyone's feelings, but that's my main focus. And for it benefits me, and when I'm benefited and when I'm living right, it is beneficial to my family, because I'm being the wife and the mom that Jesus called me to be. And so that overflows into every single area of my life. So I will always choose a church function over a social function, because that's a choice that I've decided to make for my life. And so it's really just sitting down, looking at everything you're invited to, and just thinking to yourself, which one is going to be better for me and for those around me. And it's not a selfish decision. It's nothing like that. But it's learning that, guys, like, you're going to get to a point in your life where you just can't please everyone. And it's learning to make better choices for yourself and make better choices for your kids. And, that, like, even comes with, like, going to parties. I get invited to parties still, and I have 2 kids and a husband. And it's just something that I've decided I don't want to do with my life. And not everyone's going to decide that. And you guys are going to decide different things for your life and be passionate about the things that you decide. But for me, I'm passionate about the things that I've decided. And partying is not something that I want to do. And so for me, that's that. And so when I get invited to parties, I love my friends, but I won't go. Like, I just won't go, because it's not something that I want to do with my life. And so it's just small things like that, guys. Like, just learning that you just can't say yes to everything, and you need to make the decisions for your life that are going to lead you to the future that you plan for yourself and that you want and desire for yourself. And so I've learned to make decisions based off that, and I've learned to say no. That way my schedule is still open to bigger and better things. So that's just kind of a little bit about time management. It's the less important of this vlog episode, so that was really short and simple. I just want to go ahead and move on to managing your life wisely. So this is huge, and this is the part that I really want you guys to listen to, because it's something that lately I've grown so passionate about, and I really just want to speak this into you guys' lives. So number one is, don't wait till you are older. Start now. I've always struggled with this because I'm a person that I don't want to start something until I've perfected it. And so that kind of doesn't make any sense when I say it like that. So I'll just go ahead and give you an example. When I've always had a passion for giving advice to people, or speaking into people's lives and improving people. And so this vlog, I didn't really know much about vlogging, so it wasn't necessarily that I wanted to vlog, but I knew that I wanted to do something that impacted other people's lives, where I could just talk to other people and speak about the lessons that life has taught me, or the lessons that I've learned, the things that people have spoken to my life that have been positive and that have changed me in a better way, and that I just want to share that with the rest of the world. But I've always held myself back because I was like, well, I'm not perfect at this. Like, I'm not perfect at time management, so how can I speak time management into other people's lives? I'm not a perfect wife. How can I speak wisdom about being a wife into other people's lives when I haven't even mastered it? And it was all about perfection for me. That I'm not perfect, so how can I start? I am not perfect, so how can I begin? And I know for a lot of people that's how it is. Like, you have a dream and you're like, oh, I want to be a makeup artist, but I'm not perfect at makeup. So how can I start a business doing something that I'm not even 100% confident in myself in, you know? Or I want to start a family, but how in the world am I going to be a perfect mom? Like, I can barely take care of my dog. You know, things like that. And it might not even be that serious. It might just be something small, like, I don't even know a good example, but it just might be something small where you're like, I want to start this maybe, but you look at yourself and you're like, I'm not qualified. I'm not enough for that. And it's learning to let go of that and accept the fact that literally no one is perfect. You know, even the most professional people make mistakes and slip up, and that's what makes success. And it's learning that success comes through failure. You know, that rainbows come after storms. Everything good comes after the struggle. And so that's one thing that I've learned, and I decided this year, like, I'm starting this vlog. Like, who cares if I'm not perfect? Who cares if, you know, even still to this day, I'm not, you know, the Pinterest mom, or I'm not the best wife, or I'm not the most holy Christian. And those things don't matter. Like, even with who I am now, I can impact people, and we can grow together as a community of women who are reaching for bigger and better things, and who are striving to be more than they are. And so that's number one, is just like, don't worry about how old you are. Don't worry about if you're perfect at it. Like, start where you are, regardless of what you think, regardless of what others think. You are enough, and you are more than capable. So that's number one. Number two is relationships and community. For the longest time, I literally thought this meant nothing. You know, like, in your life, like, who does it matter who your friends are? Like, as long as they're nice, and as long as, you know, like, you guys can talk about things. And, you know, like, I kind of think about high school relationships. Like, all of the girls that I were close to, you know, like, we could talk about things. And I remember, you know, in middle school, we had notebooks that we would just pass around, and we'd have so many notes in it, and we could just talk about, you know, relationships and home life and, you know, cheer, and just all the things in our lives, like, we could talk about. And that was our relationship, and that was our friendship. And, you know, maybe in middle school, you know, things like that didn't matter. But the older I got, I realized that I could not grow being in the wrong community and having the wrong relationships. And I know, especially being a girl, that is so difficult, because when you're dating, or when, you're in a relationship with a guy, we get attached so easily. And then it's so difficult to unattach ourselves. Even in middle school, I struggled with that. Like, I'd have horrible, horrible, middle school boyfriends, and I wouldn't be able to let them go. Like, why? I have no idea. I did not love them. It wasn't, anything serious. We've been dating like 2 months, like, and we don't even date. We don't go anywhere. I just see them at school, and just attachment, and then it gets worse the older you get, and you just have a hard time just letting go of relationships that are pure negativity, that are depressing you, that are holding you down, that are keeping you from moving forward. And yet we are attached, and we refuse to let ourselves end it, and it continues to hold us back, and we lose self-worth, and we become insecure, and we feel that we are nothing without them. And it absolutely takes hold of our lives. And it's the same way with friendships, if you hang out with a crowd of people who are choosing to live the total opposite life than you, you're getting no wisdom from them. So you're learning nothing. You're allowing yourself to be in a position to be asked to go do things that won't lead you to where you are walking towards in your life, rather than finding a community of people who are desiring to move in the same direction as you. And those people can push you and motivate you and inspire you and walk with you on a journey that's already difficult. So for me, and I've kind of already talked about it, I was just an okay person. Like, I was just an okay wife and an okay mom and an okay Christian. And I just got to a point where I was just fed up with that. And one of the reasons I was just an okay woman was because I had no guidance. Like, I literally had no guidance. And as soon as I plugged myself into relationships with people who were living a life that I pursued to live, or were not even quite living it yet, but were walking toward that direction, we had the same goals. We wanted to read the same books, we wanted to talk about the same topics, and we wanted to improve in the same ways. And that was huge, and I've grown so much in 3 months than I have in my whole entire life, because I sought out those relationships. And trust me, it takes a lot of humility. I had to sit down and pray and ask God to give me the courage and to take away all the pride that I had. I'm one of those people that I do not ask for help. I just don't do it. And I will struggle and fail and still refuse to ask for help. And I've done it for years. I've done it since I got married. Like, I just don't want help. I don't need help. I can do it by myself. I can do it on my own. And this year, God was just weighing it on me to step out of my comfort zone and just listen to his guidance and step where he wanted me to step. And I had to pray a lot about it, because I argued with God, and I said, I don't think you're telling me that, God. I don't think you're telling me that. And I was trying to talk myself out of what I knew God was speaking into my life. And once I let that go, and once I just let God take control of my life, and I made that move, oh my gosh, all this wisdom overflowed in me. I mean, I let go of myself, and blessings just started to pour into my life just through community. Community and friendships alone in 3 months has made me a new person, a total new person. And so, if you guys are interested in community, and this is something that you know that you need, you look around at your life and you look at the people in your life, and you just know that they are not letting you move forward, guys, email me and write me on Instagram text me, ask for my number, and I will be more than happy to meet with you or talk with you or be in community with you and walk you through the steps and the process of just getting started. Like, sometimes it's hard. Like, you don't even know where to find community. You look all around you and there's no great influences in your lives. So seriously, just take that step, reach out to me, and we will find a way to get you guys plugged in either with me or with somebody else. But seriously, take community into your heart and into your prayers, and see if that's something that you know that you need in your life to really choose your life wisely. Number 3 is for me is finances, and so I kind of just want to throw that up. Obviously, there's tons of things like living, managing your life wisely. That's huge. And so for me, finances is one. I'm young, so I always think I have all this time. Like, I have all this time to save up money, and I have all this time. Like, I'm just gonna live, and I'm gonna buy what I want and do what I want. And I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wasted so much money. Like, so much money I could be saving, so much money I could be, who knows what I could have done by now, with all the money that I've wasted. And so, budgeting has become huge for me. I've read Dave Ramsey's book and been through his financial peace process. And, wow, like, he just opened my eyes to learning how to put your money where it needs to go and avoiding debt, doing everything you can to avoid debt. And so, finances is huge. Like, choose your life wisely. Choose what you do with your money wisely. Choose who you spend your time with, who's in your presence wisely. And choose the actions that you make wisely, regardless of your age, regardless of your level of perfection. Like, take the steps. Do what's going to better you. Do what's going to better the world around you. Like, it's your life and you only have one. The last one, which is huge, and I'm just so passionate about it, and I can't speak loud enough about it, and it is the things that you focus on. The things that you focus on. My husband is obsessed with J. Cole. Like, it's his favorite rapper. It's a role model, his inspiration, someone he looks up to, and there is a great reason why, because that man is highly intelligent. He's an amazing artist, and he speaks so much truth. And so even today, he showed me a video, and I just put it in this podcast because I just needed to. I needed you guys to hear it. So he said something along these lines. He said, if you're working for money, you'll never have enough. If you are working for materialistic things, you'll always want more. It is a hamster wheel. So if you spend your whole life just reaching and reaching for money and reaching for materialistic things and reaching for yourself and for the things that you desire and for the things that you think are going to make you happy, you'll just keep going round and round and round in circles, because once you get 1,000, you're gonna want 100,000, and once you get 100,000, you're gonna want 500,000. Once you get 500,000, you're gonna want 1,000,000. And so, like, your bar just keeps going up. Like, you're just gonna keep going up, and you're gonna keep wanting more, and you're never gonna reach anything that satisfies you. And it's just gonna be a continuous merry-go-round. Like, you're just gonna keep going around, and it's a ride that never stops. And so I just kind of wanted to plug this into my life so you could kind of see it real life and see what it's doing for me. I'm reaching for huge things. Like, I have a huge entrepreneur spirit. I want to provide for my family and bless my family and spoil my family. But not only that, I'm learning to be content and humble along the way. So although I'm reaching for big dreams and big goals, where I am now is just as important and meaningful, and it makes me just as happy as what I'm reaching for in the future. So right now in my life, I want to be just as grateful and I want to be just as joyous as I know that I'll be once I get wealth. Once I get my dream home, and once I get my dream mom car, and once my babies can ask me for something and I can provide it for them right there. Once I see my husband, riding in his dream car, and I know that it's just giving him pure happiness, I want to be just as happy now as I will be in that point of my life. I want to be just as grateful now as I will be in that point of my life. And, I'm, like I said, I'm shooting for wealth. I'm shooting for money. But at the same time, I'm so passionate about learning how to budget. And I'm so passionate about controlling my finances and learning how to, put my money in big things and great things, even with the small amount that I have at the moment. I don't have a huge amount of money. And even though I know one day I'm going to make a huge amount of money, I still want to master and conquer budgeting now. That way when I'm rich, I know how to handle my money and I'm not just blowing it and wasting it. And even right now, I'm planning my future generosity. And so, let me explain that to you. When I'm rich, I say when because I want to speak positive things. I want to be rich, so dang it, I'm going to be rich, and I'm speaking that positivity in my life. So when I'm rich, I do not want that money to be for me. Because like J. Cole was saying, if you want to be rich, you're never going to have enough money if it's just for you. If you want to be rich for you and just for you alone, you're never going to have enough money. And it's never going to be enough, and you're never going to have all the materialistic things. Like, you get a 60-inch TV. Well, it ain't a 60-inch HD TV, so you're going to want that. And then you're going to want a 70, or I don't even know what TVs are, so who even knows if I'm giving the right inches. But anyways, the point is, there's always going to be something bigger, and things keep making. So every year there's probably going to be something, more and better, and you're just going to continuously want something else. And so for me, and in my life, I'm shooting for living for others more than I am for myself. So when it comes to my money, I'm already planning the generosity that I want to give to my community when I have all this money. And it's not, okay, I'm planning what I want. Okay, this is what I want and this is what I want. I don't have a list of things that I want, And, okay, I do have a list, but it's not near as long as the list of things that I want to give away. And so I really feel like that's what he was speaking about, is just we can't continue to live for ourselves, because that doesn't bring true happiness, and that's not the way that he wants to live his life, and that's not the way that I want to live my life. So managing our life wisely for myself and for J. Cole and for my husband is, we don't want to live for ourselves. We want to live for the world, and we want to make a difference. Like, J. Cole doesn't even have a car. He is famous, he is wealthy, and he doesn't even own a car. He literally sold his car and bought a bike. And he rides his bicycle everywhere. How does that not humble you and open your eyes to understand that all the things we crave and we want, we don't need, and they're not blessing anyone. They're not even blessing us, because we're never really satisfied. And so, to sum this all up, guys, because it's really hard to talk to you guys about everything that I want to talk about, in 35 minutes or 40 minutes. The point I'm making is, we only have one life to live. So how are you going to live it? Are you going to live it just purely being focused on yourselves, leading yourself down, wrong paths, feeling lonely, feeling unhappy? And who knows, you might even not be feeling unhappy if you live for yourself. You might be very successful and you might have, tons of friends and all of those things. And if that's the life you decide to live, guys, that's totally okay. But for me, and the message that, I want to get across, and just really talk about where I am in my life, is I don't want to live for myself. Like, I don't want all my talents to, like, I started when I started this vlog, my first instinct was like, oh my gosh, I need to get all these followers. Oh my gosh, I need to get all these subscribers. Oh my gosh, YouTube's gonna pay me. I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna be a vlogger. And I had to sit down and humble myself and say, Brooklyn, this vlog is not for you. You already know this wisdom. It's already impacting your life. And this vlog is about sharing this wisdom that you've gained, sharing the impact that it's had on your life, and changing other lives. And even if that's one person, even if I have one subscriber and only one person watches my video every week, I am going to be 100% content and full of joy because one person's life is being changed because I'm speaking out, because I'm pouring this wisdom into their lives, and I'm talking about my life and letting them understand that they're not the only one searching and looking and confused and lost and eager. And I'm all these things. I'm all these things inside of me. And I know that there are people out there who are like me, and they want to do big things and they want to do great things, but they're lost. They don't know how to start, or they're just on the right track and they're trying to figure out how to get on the right one. And so instead of wealth for myself, I'm focusing on wealth for my community. Instead of relationships that only benefit me, I'm working toward relationships that change lives. And I'm not only filling my calendar with activities that please me, I'm filling my calendar with activities that change the world. That's my focus. And that's just something that I wanted to pour into your guys' lives today, and just ask you the question, how are you managing your time? And how are you managing your life? What is going to be your legacy? Like, when people think of you, what are they going to think? And so, this is just huge, and I just really hope you guys got the message out of it, and I just really hope it kind of opened your eyes to the fact that, maybe you are, I'm only 21 years old, and it seems like I have such a large amount of time left to live, but who knows, I could die tomorrow, and at least I can die knowing that I had this vlog and I was, pouring into people's lives, and I was a better wife than I was yesterday, and I'm a better mom than I was yesterday, and I'm a better woman of God than I was yesterday, because I was intentional with my time. I managed my time wisely, and I managed my life wisely, and I was doing things that I knew would give me pure happiness, that do give me pure happiness, that give me pure contentment. So guys, seriously, sit down, think about that. And once again, if you are confused or lost or have questions, or just, just don't know what to do, don't know where to start, seriously, write me on anything. Write me on my email that's in the description, write me on Instagram, write me on Facebook. And I would love to, pour my time into you. And also, if you have any topics that you want me to talk about on the vlog, definitely, go ahead and email that to me as well, because I'd love to talk about things that you guys are interested about, not only things that I'm personally learning. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for next week.